Now, I am delighted to say that we are joined by Robin Dawson. Robin, how you doing? You'll be giving us a review of the Taylormade Driving Relief. Sorry, the Driving Relief events last night.
Yeah, how are we, lads? Thanks for having me. Yeah, I only managed to see a little bit of it last night. Yeah, it was an interesting one. I kind of flicked onto Twitter then during it, and I'm deep in Game of Thrones at the moment. About 5 years too late, but it took a lot of heat, didn't it? I don't understand why people give so much negativity towards it. You know, in fairness, the lads took time out of their day to go play golf with each other, and they raised $5.5 million. You know, it was just, and they're trying to give entertainment when there's nothing else on. So it did take a lot of heat, and people were, I suppose, voicing their opinions online and stuff like that. And people are very quick to jump on the bandwagon if it's not good, and if it's bad or if it's good. So yeah, I thought it was good. In fairness to the lads, that they raised some for a great cause, you know, which was good.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think we're all coming from different perspectives. You have the great insight of being a player and being on the course. I think what frustrated me most about it, because I would definitely I was on Twitter giving
yeah.
today. But I think for me, what really annoyed me was, so my background's all in media and video production. They had the ingredients for something really special. You know, they had some of the best players in the world, the course themselves, the lads were all mic'd up. You know, the opportunity was there to play a really nice new format or do something different or push the boat out. But in the end, you just had the broadcast kind of just reverted to type. So they ran like a PGA Tour, European Tour program, but with 4 players. When, you know, what would have been unbelievable was just to hear the lads talk through a shot, or like what they were going for off the back of that shot, or did it come out the way they were looking for it to.
I suppose that depends on the 4 golfers you choose. You know, it's all. I suppose it all comes back to the personality of the golfer. Whether they're, I know Dustin Johnson, he can be funny to watch and stuff. The way he was carrying his bag and stuff like that, and marking his ball with a tee, like that can be pretty humorous. But I suppose you want someone who's very funny and you can engage with. And I don't think the lads did a good enough job of that. I suppose Rory did try to make an effort, but a lot of it was a bit cringy at times, for sure. But I suppose they were just trying to make it entertaining for the viewers.
That's the thing. Like their job was to play golf. Their job wasn't to entertain us or to be an MC for the program. Their job was to play good golf, and like they did. They all shot like pretty low under par. It was like 6 under par 1 or something.
Yeah. I saw that. Standard is pretty good. You know, they're top. Are they all top 50 in the world?
I'm not sure. But Wolff is the only one outside. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be no time. It's going to be any day by the time he's there.
Yeah, he's only played at like 7 events or something like that.
Yeah, so, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. He'll be knocking on the door for a long time, I think.
And we were having a chat before we came on, and we were pretty hard. We were texting back and forth about this and saying that this is really hard to get used to. But once you got used to the format and that it's only 4 guys hitting shots, so it's not. If there is going to be natural breaks in it because 4 lads tee off and they have to walk 390 yards at times to get to their ball. Yeah. So there's going to be a massive difference. And what we were saying was, there was a conversation, I think, on the 16th where the 2 lads drove into the greenside bunker. They hit it like 400 off the tee, and Rickie hit like a 3-iron. And whoever was on course said he had a really good conversation with Rickie going up as to why he hit 3-iron. And we were just thinking, why wasn't that part of it? Because what intrigues us amateurs and everyday golfers is what happens between the shots in golf and the conversations between, and you have more insight to that. So that's the part that intrigues us.
I definitely think there's definitely like a more of an opening, even for TV, to open it up between caddies and players if they can get in there and listen to the conversation, because that's where I suppose the little nuggets are, where you can find out things and how their thought process and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's definitely an opening there.
I think Sky do it very well. Tim Barcher gets on a lot in terms of guys walking off tee boxes, and you've probably seen that up close at Rolex events now, and that's where we were thinking that's the value here. That they're not there to be singing and dancing to us; they're there to be very good golfers to us.
Yeah, I suppose it all depends on the player as well, whether they want to talk, or depends on what humor they're into, whether they're birdied or bogeyed the previous hole as well.
And DJ probably wanted to be on a boat off the beach rather than playing golf. I'd say he was looking wistfully out at the sea, wondering why he wasn't out fishing.
Yeah, he's very entertaining to watch, isn't he? I love the way he saunters around the golf course and stuff. Yeah, he just makes it look so easy.
I wondered, that's really interesting about the, like you mentioned there, the different people and how they perform on the last hole is interesting. Do you, like, from your experience on tour, have you spoke to guys who just really don't enjoy the aspect of it? Because we don't obviously see that side of it. Like, do the guys see Tim coming up to them and just go, "Oh, I have to do this interview now"?
Personally, I wouldn't have any problem with it, but yeah, I suppose it's a kind of a mixed feeling whether players want to do it or not. You could give them an option before they go out whether they want to partake in interviews, but at the end of the day, it's good for sponsors and stuff like that. You know, is your sponsor seen on TV, and without sponsors, there's no golf. So I think you have to. There's a bit of give and take there, where you have to kind of, I suppose, take a step up and do your bit, I suppose.
Yeah. Was there much that jumped out to you from the show last night? Like we were saying just before we jump on here, that Rory's looking really dialed. Like he doesn't seem to have lost a step at all.
Yeah, he's looking shredded as well. He must be doing a lot of training. I suppose that's the benefits of having your own gym, which would be nice. But yeah, I think he's just world class. Had a very good Zoom call, Team Ireland players and national panelists last week with him, so it was great for him to give us some time. And he was definitely I really enjoyed his I suppose the time we got on Zoom with him for the hour. It was very educational. I definitely got some nice little bits out of it to take forward. Anything
you'd share? Or it was this more high level stuff, or was there any little nuances or tidbits of gold?
I suppose it was just cool to hear his perspective on things, on how his consistency is going and stuff. And I've actually wrote a couple of things down as well, and he's reading a couple of Ryan Holiday books, and I suppose he kind of really delved into it. It was very broad, but when he's making changes and how he goes about practicing, and he even talked a bit about Tiger and stuff like that, because they all hang out down in Florida. So yeah, it was very good, very, very good.
I was talking to Mark Power actually, because I know he also was on that call. And he said the one thing that really jumped out, because I asked the same question because I'm just nosy. I asked him the same thing, and he said that Roy tries to create his own mini tournament inside the tournament, which helps him stay focused. And would that be something as simple as playing like 3, 3, and 3 through a 9 and try and do it that way, or would he set himself like a target of under par for the week?
No, he was thinking more after 2 rounds, say I should be 10 under par better. Or after 4 rounds, I can get to 20 under par. And he did mention that, as he takes that into that kind of thought process into every week, which helps him. And he said it definitely helped him win his first major around Congressional. I think did he break the record for most under par through 36 holes? And he said to us, he just felt as if he was just out playing normal golf, and it wasn't anything spectacular. I suppose he was just playing his own tournament within a tournament, and that's definitely something I've taken away from it. And I suppose I think myself, I'll definitely be taking it forward, and subconsciously I've definitely done it in the past where I've played well, which I've noticed. So yeah, it was definitely something nice that he pointed out. So it was.
That's good though, because it makes you kind of forget about the field, and you don't have to worry about the other X number of players in the tournament. You have your own target, and that's the tournament that you want to play. And if you win that, chances are you win the overall one as well.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on the caliber of player and what you want to achieve. But yeah, it takes away a lot of distractions, and I suppose it gives you a main focus, and keeps the mind free, which is the main thing,
Yeah. I saw Matthew Wolff. Like, you kind of heard stories about him as a player. Obviously, he had that unbelievable ego put to win and beat Bryson out just by that one shot in the 18th. But to see that drive that he hit on the second hole to win long drive was unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about his game. If as a viewer, would you rather watch Adam Scott or would you rather watch Matthew Wolff? I know I'd say Adam Scott all day long. I don't know. I just love the way he plays the game and the way he swings the club and stuff. But I suppose that's the new era of players coming in, the likes of Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland. There's no one way to do it, and they're obviously showing that it can be done many different ways.
I think you nailed it there. It's his thing, is his USP, is the unique thing he is this swing, which let's face it was Jimmy Bruin's swing previous, 60 years ago. If you look at photos of Jimmy Bruin besides Matt Wolff, they're identical. But I suppose because the where we see, and the reason he was probably there, was the social media impact of his coach is enormous in golf. And
that definitely helps.
His coach is George Gankis, who's a real kind of for people who don't know him, he's a very surfer dude type. Doesn't really stick to the reverence. He's not PGA qualified, for example.
Is he not?
No, he's not a PGA coach. No, he's not. He's just a swing coach. So it's a very different background and image to what he does. And you see, yesterday he was the thing that people ended up actually talking about an awful lot, because he hits the ball a bloody mile.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'd love to fast forward 20 years and see Matthew Wolff's career compared to, I don't know, who's a really an up and coming star who kind of swings it relatively good and under the radar, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Can his back hold up for that long swing at that speed? You see Cameron Champ is having back problems as well, and yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to know.
Even the amount of movement in the swing, you must think, like, under pressure, will that start to give him issues? Like, when it's a Sunday, obviously he had that great performance and he got the win, but a lot of that could have played into the media circus that came around him, where he was kind of pretty comfortable with all that hype. But you can see in a major on a Sunday, if he's in contention and he starts to feel the pressure, does the swing start to falter and suddenly it's chaotic?
I heard a great quote a year or two ago from Padraig Harrington, and it stuck with me, and ever since. The person holds up under pressure, not the swing, which I thought was a very good quote, coming from obviously a 3-time major champion. And so yeah, I suppose with Wolff, time will tell, and he has obviously stood up to it so far. But I think, I suppose you have to have good fundamentals and stuff. But at the end of the day, when you're coming down on a Sunday with a major, I don't know what it's like, but even listening to Shane, it's pretty nerve-wracking. And I suppose, as he says, it's just a mental test against yourself. So I think definitely the person holds up under pressure as opposed to a swing.
That's interesting. That's a great line.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It just stuck with me ever since. And I suppose Padraig was even saying that he was trying to build, a bulletproof swing that'll hold up under pressure. But at the end of the day, the person holds up under pressure, not the swing, which I thought was a great quote.
Yeah, that's huge. Rickie, I thought, was super impressive in that as well. I think, he was carrying Wolff for a long time.
Yeah, Rickie's a class player, and I was watching the TV the other night, and it's hard to believe he's been on tour for the last, how many years? 12 years or 11 years? Same as Rory, and he's only 30, which is crazy. He definitely due a major win. He's such a good player, isn't he?
Even the 6 wins is underrated. Like,
yeah, and he's one of players as well. So he's basically, I know it's not a major, but it's nearly there. But yeah, I think if you keep having a nice little bet on him over the majors over the next few years, I don't think he'll be too far off.
Oh, there's that funny kind of like story or whatever it is around Rickie, that he couldn't get across that line for a long time, whereas all of his mates were doing it. So it was good to see him get that in Phoenix this year, and you'd see from that performance yesterday anyway, there could be a lot more to come.
Yeah, he actually had a big speed bump. I don't know if you guys remember in Phoenix last year. So it was a good kind of turning point, I suppose, in his career. If he didn't get past that, who knows? But yeah, he looks if he's going to stay around for a long time.
Taking the golf yesterday, just the golf and what we were able to see, what did you think was the thing that was most impressive that you would look at and go, God, those guys are sharp at this? What was that part for you?
I think everyone can hit the ball. They all hit 4 wedge shots on one hole, and they were all in on the pin. I think that's what the really good players are at. They just give themselves that extra couple of chances for birdie and around, which makes it a big difference. I suppose you're splitting hairs at their standard, but they're all good drivers of the golf ball and good putters. I suppose you can get that extra time, you can get up and down around the 50 to 120 yard mark. That's key, really. You see Dustin Johnson improved that in his game a couple of years ago, and he went to number 1 in the world and was winning everything. So I think that's an area where you just can't work hard enough at.
I feel completely vindicated. Johnny, we said that right before that there was that part of the whole course where they were just throwing darts for wedges like it was a joke. You're looking your average 4-ball, and you're not used to seeing 4 balls in such close proximity at that level, other than maybe the Ryder Cup 4-ball.
Yeah.
And to see them just chuck them in, you're like, God, they are so sharp. DJ wouldn't have put it into a bucket, mind you, but he had to be that close. I thought his attitude was funny. I thought his attitude was good. It was nice and light. He was just cruising. As you said, people don't get it, like sticking a tee in instead of getting the ball marker out of your pocket. Couldn't be bothered, really. When he hit it in the water, he didn't bother to reload. He was just like, I couldn't put his bag on right.
Yeah.
It was...
I'd like to know whether he's doing it on purpose or that's just him. From what I've been told, that's what he's actually like in real life, which is it's very funny. And even for TV, I think everyone got a kick out of those bits.
I think it'd be even funnier if he wasn't like that in real life and he was just putting his on and just has everyone he's playing up to the image that he has.
Yeah.
He was amazing. Even like you saw over Twitter, people were like, he's just carrying the bag wrong. Like it's actually more difficult to carry it that way, to even pick it up and put it on that way.
Well, a person like DJ is not used to carrying his own bag.
He walked off at one stage. Yeah. He went, was he playing 17? And he hit the tee shot and he went to walk off and had to walk backwards to collect his bag because he forgot it.
And he was even, I saw on one hole, I think Rickie was hitting his shot in and he was about 100 yards up on the right and he was just in his own world, which I thought was funny.
Speaking of the course, actually, we have mentioned it there. We heard so much and it's been much lauded. I don't think we probably saw the best of it in terms of how they covered it, but have you heard anything about the course or what did you make of it?
From pictures, it looked wide open and it didn't look great, but I was actually chatting to Paul McBride about it and he said he's played it in college with his college team a few times and he said it is amazing when you actually get to play it. I think he even said there's one of the best par 3s there he's ever played. So yeah, for TV, I suppose it doesn't look as pretty as Pebble Beach or Augusta or something like that. But from what I've heard, it's supposed to be a really exclusive, great spot.
Yeah, it's kind of pitched as like the Augusta or Florida. I think when you saw the massive drives, I was like, this just seems to really just reward length and not accuracy. So you can kind of be anywhere off the tee anyway.
Yeah, but around the greens looks treacherous if you're not, I suppose, coming from the right side or putting uphill.
Yeah, it looked so even the guys a few of the guys had that situation. I think what the president of Seminole calls it greens visit in regulation, which is when like you take that one bounce and then you're off. Yeah, it's kind of like your typical second shot course.
Second shot course, yeah. Even if you missed the green last night, Rory duffed one right in front of him. So it does look really tougher on the greens.
Yeah,
definitely second shot golf course by the looks of things
they
last night.
They said they had an awful lot of rain down there in the last month or so, and that the greens were playing actually much slower than they normally were. Now we saw the speed from some of the putts. Actually, I thought the camera angles for putting and on the greens was actually excellent because it was right there. Yeah. For once, you get an appreciation for how tough putts are on these courses and how much they turn. Yeah. But I didn't. The overall course probably felt lacking, even though it's a top 50 course in the world apparently. So
yeah, is it top 50? I didn't realize.
Yeah,
it was top 50.
Top 50 in the US. It's
in the US.
Yeah, in the US. So which is still.
Yeah, hopefully I'd like to get a chance to play it, and I'll make my own judgment then. So
turn amateur. The Walker Cup is there next year. Go back into the amateur ranks for a year.
Yeah, it's actually I'd have to apply for my amateur status back then. It's a long process. That I don't think I'll go for that.
Not worth the hassle.
No.
There was one or 2 points. Like I thought for the first couple of holes that like Rory and DJ were going to run away with it, but then there was I think it was the 8th hole when Rickie and Matthew won one of the skins. I think it was like they won like 3 skins back or 2 skins back, and totally flipped the game around. And that's where I think Rickie actually really kicked on, and he kind of got into a bit of a groove himself, and it made the golf all the better to watch. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, when it was close, it was kind of obvious. Well, I know hindsight's a great thing, but it was. I always fancied Rory and DJ to pull through there. I suppose top 3 in the world, top 5 in the world between the two of them against the lads. But in fairness, it was a good match, and it was good to see Rory at the end there hit that. How much for? What was it? 1.2.
Yeah, 122. I think he was hitting in.
Yeah, so tough shot that would have been. Although
it was very tough for Rickie. He shanked his.
Yeah, true. Well, it's not that tough when it's not your own money though, lads.
Well, this is the part I wanted to ask now, because it felt like 1.1 million on a hole, but so as it ramped up towards the end and it rolled over into 4 and 5 skins, gone up the last. Do you think they started to shift more into like money is less of an issue, it's more ego? Like do you think that might have come into play with these, that they wanted to win this? It all came down to a playoff then, and
I suppose they, for the likes of Rory and Dustin, they don't want a 20-year-old kid beating them because they'll never hear the end of it. So I'd say it was more of an ego thing more so than for monetary gains.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you kind of even mentioned it there. It's different when you're playing for your own money. Like Rory put out a comment afterwards saying like he actually did feel a good bit of pressure on the putt on 18, which obviously he then missed. But like it can't be the same kind of pressure.
No, definitely not. Not like a FedEx, obviously not. But I suppose at least it was going for a good cause anyway. That was the number one thing they were all there for.
Yeah, 5.5 million raised. Like plenty of money was raised, and that's
for a good cause. Yeah,
I think it's really interesting your first take on it. When Johnny and I were reviewing it between ourselves, we were like the golf, and then when you speak to you, who is a professional golfer, you were like, can't believe they raised so much money. This is brilliant. Like that's class. Golf is secondary. We know they were just there for a laugh, whereas we were kind of begging to be entertained as opposed to actually, what is this really about? The lads haven't hit a ball properly in months beforehand.
But like you were saying at the start of the show, it is difficult with only 4 players, and there's a lot of time between tee shots and stuff like that. So it does make it hard to entertain. That was the only thing, I suppose. Even if you had 2 groups, that could have definitely worked. But again, it comes back to the personality of the players and stuff like that to make it entertaining. And you need some very strong personalities who are very funny, and that'll I suppose another thing too, which they're probably all thinking about, they probably have to keep it kind of PG on TV as well and stuff. They can't say anything they shouldn't, where you could if you're out messing with the lads or something like that, you know, which could be very entertaining then.
On the whole, did you enjoy it? Did you get a kick out of it? Was it just good to have some live golf back in any shape or form?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just wanted to watch some golf. I didn't care how bad it was or how good it was at times. I was just looking forward to seeing some shots and seeing. I suppose I was more interested to see how the lads' games were after taking. Well, I see DJ put up something saying first swing in 6-7 weeks, which I do not believe last week. So I was looking forward to seeing how they were playing after taking such a long time off, because it is a tough time to stay motivated, even for the top lads. So I was interested to see how they were playing. DJ
is the one guy I would fully believe did not pick up a club, especially the way he was driving.
Yeah, and I think even Rory put a swing video up from the range saying he's first swing in 6 weeks or something like that. And I don't believe it, lads. No.
Yeah, sure. His house is on the Bears Club.
Yeah, exactly.
It was wholly heartening. It was completely heartening to see him, as you mentioned it earlier, to duff that chip right in front of himself, and just that. I know we were saying the conditions might be tough, but to even see that this happens to them too is just for us amateur golfers.
Yeah, I suppose it just shows that he's human, and even Tiger went through the doldrums and the chipping as well a few years ago. So it can happen. If it can happen to them too, it can happen to anyone.
Speaking of Tiger, you going to watch next weekend now?
They're playing with Tom Brady, isn't it, and Phil Mickelson? Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a big Tom Brady fan. I saw some of his documentaries, which were very good. So yeah, I think I'll tune into a few holes of that anyway. Anything with Tiger is pretty good.
Yeah, generally tends to do pretty well. What about Tom Brady? Do you like?
I suppose his dedication to the game of the football game in America. There's a great documentary series on YouTube. I think it's about 3-part or 4-part, and I suppose it just spends a bit of time with him, and he does it his own way, with the diet, with the whole diet and the whole physios and stuff like that. And I think he's about 41 now, and he's still in great shape and stuff like that. So I kind of like lads who kind of do it their own way and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd be a big fan. I'm even watching the Michael Jordan documentary at the moment, and that
right.
It's Michael Jordan's definitely gone up into my top 10 favorites of all time. Definitely after that.
Scottie Pippen for me. Scottie Pippen, I thought was great in that.
Yeah, he's good, and that got me thinking. Like, you want to increase the golfing world. Why don't they not do something like that with Tiger? You know, I've watched the Formula One documentaries, and I've watched the basketball on Michael Jordan, and I haven't stopped watching all the F1 races so far, and I've been watching a bit of the basketball as well. So I think that's a great way if they wanted to try and boost golf, to do something like that.
That's a brilliant shout. That actually is like, God, if you can imagine, if you bear in mind, I'm just after finishing reading the Armin Kitanian book. A lot of people have spoken about it, and it doesn't paint him in a great light, but I would have loved to have seen that, and to imagine the last 10 years or 15 years and of his existence would be fascinating. Funny enough, Tom Brady is actually the latest member of Seminole as well, since he moved to Tampa. Okay. Yeah, he moved to Tampa and has been inducted through, I don't know, it's like the Freemasons or something to get into that place. So yeah, I have to, yeah.
Honorary life, I'd say. In there.
Yeah, I'd say so. Him and Rory McIlroy's dad are going to be schmoozing over pina coladas now at the pool and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, very good.
Have you been seeing, speaking of like the sports documentaries, have you seen the Amazon Prime series All or Nothing? It's that type of behind the scenes. They followed the All Blacks and then Manchester City when they won the Premier League. It's that same kind of story. I think you definitely be into it.
All or Nothing. I'll definitely get on that then. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, I think their documentaries are because I used, like, for Formula One, for instance. I know a lot of my friends and a lot of people I know have watched that, and they're hooked on it now. And that's the only way you're going to attract more people, I suppose, to the game of golf. If they did a twist like that on it, I think it'd be great for the sport.
Yeah, I think golf has that live under par tagline, which I think almost they struggle with a bit, because if any kind of controversy comes out, like your Patrick Reed, for example,
yeah,
like controversy is like sells that gets loads of people into golf. I say after that bunker thing with Reed came out, more people tuned into the next day of golf because they wanted to see something like that.
Yeah, I suppose
Whereas
people
they really want to distance themselves from that PGA.
Yeah, I suppose people love a good story too, don't they? And they love it. They love a good bit of goss like that. And yeah, I suppose that definitely did not help the whole golf image, that episode. I don't think.
So now that you're actually, I'll go back to something here because it seems interesting to get into a tour player's life. Would you be a big sports doc person when you're on tour and you get back to the hotel room? Because obviously you're flight hotel. Is that kind of the lifestyle for you guys from week to week?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of try and have GA go on the iPad, so I watch any matches like that. And I'm a big horse racing fan, so I try and watch that as much as I can. And even got a chance to go to Longchamp last year after unfortunately missing the cut at a French Challenge Tour event. So I tried to cheer myself up, and my good friend Paul McBride, we went to the Longchamp the next day to the races, which was good fun. So yeah, I try and keep up the tabs on all sports, and I'm a big rugby fan as well. I love Ireland as well. So yeah, I'd be a patriotic person. So I'd watch all kind of sports.
So from a sports perspective, you've been hit pretty badly in the past 2 months. Basically, that's all I'm thinking is poor Robin Dawson's life has changed for the worse completely.
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me at the moment, because I had a couple of things that I want to improve on and change and stuff like that. So it's given me a lot of time and to do that without getting out onto the golf course. So I'm really looking forward to playing for the next few weeks. I'm going to play a lot of golf. So yeah, I look at it. It's been a positive for me. I'm under no time constraints, so I'm lucky. And we look to have a nice schedule set up for the rest of the year. Hopefully that will kick off in August. So hopefully the work I've put in will pay off. And
we're now obviously the famous 18th of May that every golfer has been looking forward to. Did you get out for a few holes today?
Yeah, I got out for 9 holes, so I did this evening, which was nice. I think every golf course is looking very well at the moment. So it is. But yeah, hopefully hopefully the numbers die down now of golfers getting out the next couple of days, because it was pretty busy there today. But it was great to see everyone there, a lot of golfers, a lot of members, and they were all sticking to guidelines and stuff like that, and even getting out of the car, seeing arrows around the golf club clubhouse and stuff like that. So it's great that we can, I suppose, use golf as a positivity in this pandemic.
What are you working on at the moment? You kind of alluded to it there.
Yeah, I suppose just my mental aspect, and I suppose getting a lot fitter, getting leaner. It's something I really want to improve on was my driving. It was pretty weak part of my game, and I think I've really turned that around, and it's quite turning into a nice strength. And my wedges and stuff like that. You see the top players in the world, they all drive at 300 plus, and you just gotta be able to take golf courses apart. And when you can put it 300 yards plus down the fairway, that's halfway killing a hole. So yeah, I think I've improved a lot on even getting out on the bike. I'm improving my cardio and stuff like that, and running. So yeah, I suppose there's little percents in each part of my game that I had to improve, and which has given me a lot of time to do that, which has been good.
Did that come about yourself? Did you do a bit of a review and a stock take, or did you have someone who said, "Listen, these things need to change"?
Yeah, I suppose I'm lucky. I have a good team around me. I work with Peter O'Keefe and Noel Fox. So yeah, they've been great to help me along the road.
How important is it to have a team that can be honest with you like that? Because I'm sure at the same time, those guys telling you those things or telling you that there are areas you can improve, sometimes they may also need to be a bit more real with you than you like.
Yeah, definitely. Honesty in any relationship, I think, is key. They can't be sugarcoating you the whole time and hearing what you want to hear. Sometimes I suppose you have to hear the noise if you want to get better and improve. So yeah, I definitely, I've really nice sounding board around me, which I'm very lucky to have, and even my family are very good and very supportive. So I'm in a very privileged position.
And so you've a bit of time now to how far off the plus 300 yard drives are you?
I'm getting there. So I've been out on TrackMan and doing a good bit of work on that as well. So
how was the first tee shot off the first today? How did that go? No warm up, no ranges open or anything?
No, I didn't. No, it was pretty good. I hit it down the middle of the fairway. So yeah, I was pretty pleased. I've been huge net out in the back garden and stuff like that. So I've been swinging a golf club for the last couple of months, and I've been huge open field down in front of my house. So I've been lucky to hit some balls down there as well. So it wasn't my first tee shot in 6 or 7 weeks like others have been saying.
Yeah, I've been sneaking out to the golf course across the road, and like only in the last 5 or 6 days. So the courses are so close, but it was 8 weeks or so. Unlike Rory and DJ, it really was 8 weeks before I got to swim club. It was not good.
It feels alien. It doesn't. It just feel when you play so much and then you give it up. Even for me, if I'm on the road a lot and playing a lot of tournaments, even if I don't hold a golf club for 2 days, it feels like I haven't held a golf club for about a month. So yeah, it will take a couple of days to get back into it.
Yeah, it was a bit terrifying. I went up to the driving range, got 200 balls, 2 baskets of 100. I was like, I need to be here now until I get the shanks and everything just gone.
Put yourself through misery, did you?
I came out the other side though, so that's the main thing. I came out alive.
That's
good. Good.
It was so funny. I went today and I put the ball down on the tee and I completely forgot what I did. Like, the other way, you might have a little bit of a routine built up over time and stuff. And I completely forgot, like, how do I stand into a ball or how many practice swings do I take? It was just a case of just get this thing off the tee box now before it does me bad.
I suppose that can be a bit of a good thing as well, that you're just doing it subconsciously and you're not thinking about it. I think that's when you play your best golf, is when you have no thoughts and you just play. So I think there's something definitely to be taken away from that.
As long as everyone keeps their distance, keep their distancing.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to be going into another lockdown. So I think, if everyone can do their part, I think golf will be better for the long run.
That's good. That's true. So have you got I was hearing that the first week of August is kind of when the challenge tournament stuff are looking at coming back. It's like the 8th of August. Is that what you've been told as well?
Well, on the schedule, I think it's the first event back is from the 19th to the 22nd of July in Austria. But I don't know. It depends how the next few weeks go. I suppose for my sport to get back to normality, the whole world and the whole of Europe have to be in a sound place. Not like as if Ireland's good and the UK is still in bother. We can't go back because obviously there's so many players from the UK. So yeah, hopefully it'll be the end of July. But yeah, I'm still waiting for confirmation on that.
I don't know. You got to have. I know there was before lockdown hit. There was that was it the Paddy Pro Tour where you played in the Carton? A few more days like that.
Yeah, I think there'll definitely be. I think once we can travel outside a certain radius and stuff, I think that could really take off. We can get it consistently 20, 30 lads there and €100 in winner takes all. I suppose it's not a bad payday if you can. And it's what we really wanted for was just a tester game, some competitive golf, and that was the main thing we set it up for. So I think hopefully when this all calms down, we can get back to that and see where our games are at, which is the main thing, because it's not the same when you're just going out playing a few holes. You want to make it intense, and you want to make it as if it's a I suppose a tournament round where you're completely dialed in, and that's where you want to be.
was there like a graded level of financial entry depending on your ranking or depending on your classification? Was that more players paid a bit more? And
there was a few. There was the first one was kicked off in Corbelis. I think there was only about 6 or 7 lads, but I think the real first one was in Carton House. Now I didn't manage to play in the first 2. I think there's about 20 lads, but yeah, I think the lads have been grading it for a European Tour player. I think it's 200. A Challenge Tour player is 150. Euro Pro and Alps Tour I think it's 100. So I suppose it's a good way of looking at it. I suppose obviously the European Tour players are going to be much more well off. So it'd be nice to get the likes of Paddy and Shane to play it.
They're a different level, different fee for major winners. Get a different level altogether.
Yeah, but the lads are competitive, so I don't think that'd be a problem. I think we all want to beat each other. So no matter what you've achieved, I think we all want to beat each other. I think that's the main thing.
Well, you said at the start, it's different playing for your own money.
Yeah, exactly. It's I suppose €150. It's good to tee it up. It's not like playing. You're going to get a bit excited when you know there's a decent bit money in the pot, and you're not playing for fivers, I suppose. You know.
Like us.
Like us, yeah. Gosh, I can't imagine the nerves. That tee shot on the 18th in Carton House with $2,000 on the line would be tasty.
I suppose it's just, yeah, you're like exactly, and you're just trying to replicate tournament conditions. You know, if you need par on the last to win a tournament or make the cut or something like that, you know, that's again, it comes back to can that person hold up under pressure? And that's the bit we're trying to figure out for ourselves.
That's really interesting because we did an interview with Matt Sandercock. That interview is going to go out like next week or the next few days. But he said that that's something that he looks for a lot of younger pros to be doing, because like Damien McGrain and a few of those guys all kind of cut their teeth playing events like that, you know, taking money off younger lads, because his idea or Damien's thought process behind it was, if you can't beat me and you can't handle that kind of pressure coming off of me, like, what are you doing looking at European Tour?
Yeah, exactly. And I think even a couple of PGA pros have messaged the guys wanting to get in on it as well. So I think it could really take off if it really wants to, because there's definitely have players like myself have the time now over the next few months to really get something going, and something that we could all gain for. And even the likes of Carton House, they got great publicity out of it for the day. I think all the lads put stuff up on their social media, so it's a win-win for all of us.
Would that then, on the flip side then, so just to kind of elaborate that point even further, would you enjoy on your weeks off, say, potentially playing like the likes of any of the big events on the region?
Yeah, I've had this conversation with a few players actually, and I suppose the PJ Pro is going to be arguing that we're playing week in, week out, and we're practicing and stuff like that. But it's only going to boost events. The likes, if Gavin Moynihan, or say for instance, turned up, or I don't know, Paul McBride and Cormac Sharp and Gary Hurley, whoever. If even if 10 of us turned up to a local event, that's going to boost I suppose you might get some people out watching, and that'll definitely create more of an attention. So it can only be good for, I suppose, money in the pot for everyone. I think it could be something that could be, I suppose, dealt with in going down the line.
Yeah, it's good because like we're talking about the Damien McGrain chat, and Damien's whole principle behind, I think his one was €100 flat fee for everybody going in, and his idea was that if you're a young and upcoming pro and you can't beat me, that you're going to struggle on tour. And I think it's funny because I think the standard, and we got into this as well with Matt and his chat, and we said the standard on the region now is so high in terms of if you're not shooting 67, you're not getting paid at all.
Like so, I've played European Tour events, Challenge Tour events, and even MENA Tour events out in Dubai. And if you're not breaking 70, 71, if you're not breaking that, you might as well go home. You're not getting paid, and no matter what tour or where you are on, you got to play well. You just have to play well. There's so many players out there now fighting for opportunities and stuff like that. I suppose the gaps are getting a lot smaller.
And like you said, it's tournament golf. It's like it's pressure, and that's how lads will get better. Like young pros who just play on tour will cut their teeth and get better from it. Like iron sharpens iron, I suppose is the phrase. But
yeah, definitely. I've spent a year on the Challenge Tour last year, and it was great. I learned a lot about myself, my game, and it was a big change going from playing a lot of links and amateur golf to trying to shoot 67 every day on the Challenge Tour, whatever event you're playing, because if you don't shoot that, you're going backwards.
How big is the jump then from playing a lot of links golf on the amateur circuit to what I would assume is primarily kind of what your more part-time type of golf?
I suppose the Challenge Tour circuit, I suppose it kicks off in April and it ends in October, so you're playing predominantly in good weather, good golf courses that are in good nick, and as opposed to teeing it up in Royal Lytham and shooting 2 over par and coming in the happiest man ever. It's totally different. I suppose you have to change your mindset. You just got to make as many birdies and go as low as you can, because if you're not finishing on top 10 or whatever, top 15 on the Challenge Tour each week, you're not making money, and you're not making, I suppose, those advance up the order of merit.
Do you think the stroke play amateur events kind of cater to that professional tour life more so than like your match play events? Because obviously you won the Irish, that's a stroke play. You won in Europe as well, stroke play.
Yeah, I suppose. And I was very lucky at the GUI. You go to South Africa, and I think the South African Golf Federation do a great job in setting up the golf courses. When you go down there, you have to shoot 20 under par to win an amateur event. And I suppose they're in good conditions too, but they're used to shooting those numbers. It's not like here where I won the Irish Amateur on 2 under par, and the weather was horrendous for the week. So it's totally different mindset. I suppose it doesn't really set you up for pro golf very well.
So what do you do to flip that mindset?
Well, I've only had a year to flip that mindset. So, but yeah, I suppose I'm lucky. I kind of grew up in a parkland golf course, and a lot of my good results have been in stroke play. So I've kind of, and I've proven to myself that I'm not afraid to go low either. You can't have, as we say, you can't have a handbrake in pro golf at all. You just gotta keep. If you're 5 under, you want to get to 6, and then you want to get to 7. So I think that's important to have mindset.
Like you shot 64 around the Hinch last year in a Rolex event. Like surely that just gives you so much confidence then to just go, right, I can go as low as needs be anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. It was great to shoot that, but I suppose at the end of the day, it's only one round of golf. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I'd like to have four of them, but that's obviously a big ask. But yeah, it definitely gives you confidence in such a big event like that. So it does, definitely.
I think that's the kind of, you mentioned a poor Harrington quote earlier. I think he also said that there are 2 different types of second places, where you have a really good round and you just scrape second place, where you can kind of reverse into second place. The big difference for pro golf to amateur golf must be being able to handle that reversing into second place and really be able to manage your game.
I find with pro golf since I've been pro the last year and a half, it's all about managing your game and how you plan things and how you go about your business. And it's a lot of it is between the years, because we can all play golf. It's just, I suppose, playing our best golf in the right moments, and when the door opens, it's take that opportunity and walk through, I suppose.
Listen, man, thank you very much, Robin. We really appreciate your time. You're great.
Okay, if you need any, are you happy with what you've got, lads?
Yeah, I was like, we're an hour. I was like, it could go for about another hour now, to be honest. But if you like,
yeah, no, there's no problem. It's no problem. There's no problem at all, lads. I'm not doing anything this evening anyway. So thanks for having me as well. You're very good.
On the tee, Jack Nicklaus.
This is the minute that millions around the world have waited for.
We will allow you to enjoy all of this. They are dancing in the pubs of Dublin. Harrington with an ace.
And we have a shining star at sunset. Rory continues his run to greatness. The return to glory.